Wood.
It's Christmas time, with households mixing everywhere.
And at Christmas time, infections spike and we don't care. And in our 5-day window, you can spread your viral load.
So throw your arms around your man at Christmas time.
But say a prayer, pray for the northern ones.
At Christmas time, it's hard when you've lost all of your income.
There's a world outside waiting stuff, a world of bitterness and fear,
Where all the pubs are closing, 'cause they're stuck in fire tears.
And the Big Ben bell that tolls here
Are there hanging chimes of doom?
while tonight, thank God it's them instead of you.
And there'll be less say to Africa this Christmas time,
Because we've given all your cash
to all our friends.
In the governmental purse.
Like the app that didn't work.
Do they know
No, it's COVID time at all.
Very good. There you are. Happy Christmas, everybody. We've broken up for... Well, I've broken up for Christmas. You haven't yet, Billy. Welcome to episode 56 of Absolute Scenes. Billy, are you looking forward to Christmas yet?
I mean, if I know the Christmas number one's yet to be decided, and there are obviously the contenders have been announced, but if we can get that to number one, that would be fantastic. If we can
Well,
get a
there's also-
full feature length version of which, because that's only the initial verse, that would be brilliant. Go on.
Yeah. There was also some news about Christmas number ones this week. I'm not sure if you saw it, but for the first time since its release 26 years ago, Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You reached number one. So it was released in 1994, and it was kept off the top of the charts by E17's Stay Another Day. And yeah, at last it's reached number one. So finally, All We Want for Christmas is Mariah Carey.
Well, that shocks me that hasn't been number one.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That's mad. That is mad. So yeah, because I think what is it? Is it Christmas Eve? They'll be counted up to. So there's obviously still another week for them to battle it out. So if she can keep hold of it, then that will be something. Quite. That's quite something, Tom. You could have had that as you could have done a fake news thing there, Tom. See, you missed out. You've just spoilt it.
I know.
Spoilt it. But no,
Well,
yeah. Back to your original question. Yeah, I'm
Well,
good. I am good.
okay.
Because that's obviously what you asked me first, Tom.
Of
Yeah,
course,
I'm good. Looking forward to tomorrow breaking up. I've been working from home this week. Obviously, having a merry little Christmas was the quote that is being used. Wales are going into lockdown from the 28th, so that will be fantastic. And I know we say it every week. I think at the minute we don't want it to be a COVID special.
Well, Billy, I'm going to interrupt because we've been skirting on the subject. In fact, we haven't. I've noticed that you've been very, very keen to not talk about the subject, but I'm very wary that lots of people who watch this on YouTube are Wolves fans.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't know if you watched the match on Tuesday night, Billy, but Wolves beat Chelsea again at Molineux 2-1, despite being a goal behind. Did you watch it? What did you think of it? Wolves are amazing, aren't we?
I think did you beat us there last season?
No, we didn't. You beat us 5-2 at Molineux last season.
Yeah.
But the season
but
before
I remember,
we beat you 2-1.
I mean, wasn't that around? I remember you beating us in January one year. So it always seems to be around Christmas. It's your Christmas miracle, Tom.
We've beaten you, in my memory, we've beaten you 3 times at Molineux in the Premier League. One time it was a Jose Bosingwa own goal that won it
Yeah.
for us, and we hung on all through the game. That was the season where we stayed up on the last day, and we seemed to beat everybody at home, like Man City,
Yeah.
Man United, and you lot. We beat at home. We beat Liverpool away in that season, I think, and then we lost everybody else, that we should be beating, but we managed to stay up somehow. Then we beat you 2 seasons ago with Jota and Jimenez scoring.
Yeah.
Having, I can't remember who scored for you. I think it might have been Hazard or somebody. But then the big turning point in the game was Willian went through on goal and Ryan Bennett saved the day out of nowhere. And that turned our season around, that first Premier League season. And then, of course,
potentially this season as well. It could turn your season around.
It's been a very weird season so far.
It's been quite. I know me and you texts on the night as well about it, and Chelsea. I was speaking to my dad as well about it. Chelsea been bigged up as these title contenders this season. We've been on this run since Mendy came in and things like that. But I think, myself included, we would have been shocked, I think, if we'd have gone and won the league this season. Yeah. It's not over yet, don't get me wrong, but everyone was expecting Liverpool to be this massive, they've gone top again after last night's result. City City are still way behind as well. And, if you're considering City as title challengers still, then, Chelsea still could be as well. But I think we aren't the finished article just yet. We were talking about Werner, me and you, over text about, you were asking me why is he playing out on the wing, and I think he's only played 1 game up front since coming, which puts my prediction of him being, top goal scorer at some jeopardy, because he's obviously not playing as a striker. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It's still a work in progress. I think a lot of teams are at that stage. But yeah, it's, as I said, it's your annual miracle, Tom, that you seem to get. And I think it says testament that you remember all of these wins. And honestly, I couldn't even remember we beat you 5-2. So
I can, unfortunately, I can remember that quite clearly as well.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse, this memory of mine.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts then of Wolves then as a team? Is that the first time you've probably properly watched them this season?
I think, and it's not a true reflection of probably what they've done so far this season, because obviously losing Jimenez quite recently, it's obviously it's a different makeup to the team as well. First half, I thought you were very defensive, and Chelsea had the opportunity to almost put the game to bed. We should have been probably 2-0 up, and that's more our fault than your fault. They were very defensive. I was speaking to my dad, because the 3 games that Chelsea have just played in the Premier League, we've had Wolves, Everton, and Leeds, and there's quite a contrast between the three of those teams. Leeds were very busy and constantly running around like headless chickens.
Yeah.
And it was, if we ran at them, we'd get, as long as you beat the first man or the player that's marking you, you were almost, their plan failed. Everton were very, typical Chelsea, how they were a few years ago in terms of, because obviously Ancelotti's their manager, where they just bully you off the ball, very aggressive sort of thing. And whereas Wolves were almost standoffish, I just felt that Wolves were giving us a lot of space and time on the ball. Not that we were doing anything with it, but it was just those 3 games. We had 3 different teams, and not making excuses, but they must have been 3 completely different strategies. And then we had the Champions League. Obviously, the Rennes game was slightly different. I was just like, how they've managed to prepare for these games is quite difficult. But
do you think that's a bit of a failing, or a bit of exposing Lampard as quite an inexperienced manager?
Oh yeah,
he can't deal with it. You should be able to deal with these different styles.
Yeah, definitely. At the minute, it's Lampard is still obviously learning his trade, for lack of a better term, and things like that. And potentially, especially with Nuno making the changes that he did and things like that, that showed the experience and stuff like that. Chelsea, unfortunately, at the minute, we haven't got wingers available to us. Werner and who was on the other wing for it? Pulisic. Pulisic and he's only just come back. Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi are injured, so our out and out wingers, he couldn't obviously really change them. I think against Everton he played Abraham out on the wing. Right. It was that sort of tactic. And then against Rennes we had some youngster who played well, but it's different. I think throwing them in against when you've got the Roadrunner running at you as well. Which on that note, my dad my dad did make me laugh because he was as Adama Traore was getting, stripped, ready to come on. He was like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's the player they've been talking about on the commentary. That the really fast one." He's like, "Oh, right, okay. Who does that Traore play for?" I was like, "Oh, here we go." Like, that's him, Dad. And he's like, "No, it's not. He doesn't look big like because obviously Traore. It must have been because he obviously had like all this baggy clothing on. He obviously didn't have the extra small shirt that he normally wears, which has to be obviously lubed onto him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What did you think of Traore?
To be honest,
Be honest.
I don't think my dad said too much about him obviously because you scored with him being down injured. And that I think it was, and as I said to you, Kovacic was there, I think, as a backup to mark him, so to speak. Not that he did much, but it was obviously an extra pair of legs and stuff. But I wasn't that impressed with him. That was me saying as well. I was expecting this massive threat to come from him, but he was, Podence was Podence and Neto, I thought, played very well.
I was going to ask who stood out for you, but yeah,
Podence,
those two were exceptional the other night.
Yeah, they were, probably they have been. I know Podence and Neto have been in and out of my fantasy dream team, so I know they've been doing well. And the only reason that they came out was purely because Jimenez was injured, and it was the uncertainty of how Silva is his name, the young striker.
Yeah, Fabio Silva. Yeah.
Fabio Silva. Yeah, I was nearly called him Yao Felix. Yeah, was it Yao Felix?
I wish it was Yao Felix.
But I knew it wasn't that. But no, I think for Wolves, the signs there are promising. I thought the fullbacks as well. They played well. Marcel and.
So you thought Semedo played well?
No, as in not played
Really?
well, but they were they did
in the
their
wrong
job.
place a lot. Marcel was
their-
steady. Semedo was atrocious because every time the ball came to him, he was in the wrong
I wasn't
place.
with the ball, as in defensively. So defensively,
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, that's what I mean. He was in the way. He was in the wrong place all the time. Whoever it was playing on your left-hand side was behind him all the time, and he was chasing him all the time. Semedo. There's a big split amongst Wolves fans at the minute about him, and considering that he was Barcelona's first choice right back for 3 or 4 years, I don't know what they were doing.
They saw him.
Because because it's very similar to like the Matt Doherty effect when we've sold him to Tottenham. He's been very poor apparently for Tottenham.
Yeah.
We seem to have had the same now with Semedo. He must have been okay to play for Barcelona for so long, but he's just been terrible. His position's awful. He can't defend at all. He was a liability in the Villa game, and he gave away the penalty in the last minute, which cost us cost us a point. And he doesn't really do much going forward. He had that chance, I think, the chance
Chelsea,
where
he should have shot and passed it.
Yeah, he didn't really do either properly. And the right hand side, when Traore is on the pitch, is a liability. I've wound up now, and I'm gonna let go on Traore because he is rubbish. Alice, right, who knows nothing about football, she even knows that he's rubbish because when he gets the ball, it's a big myth. He would like a podcast that I listened to, 77 Club, that Harry Mance was on. That
friend of the podcast at the moment. Yeah. Until you make this comment.
No. It's not him that makes the comment. It's another pundit on there called Bayliss. He has slagged him off from the beginning because he'll say he's like, is it Wilder, the boxer, who's atrocious he's like not very good boxer for most of the fight, but he'll knock his opponent out.
Yeah.
That is exactly like Traore. He'll be hopeless. He'll lose possession 90% of the time that he has the ball during the game. He can't pass at all. He barely puts a decent cross in, but then once in a game, he will beat a man and whip a ball in and Jimenez will score. Well, now we're not playing that kind of football because we just can't, because we haven't got that.
I was surprised that they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't put him down the middle. I thought, he's going to come on. He's going to, I thought he was going to come on and play down the middle. Oh, I know he normally plays on the wing, but I thought because you haven't got that presence, as in what Jimenez normally does. I thought,
but Traore can't header either, so there's no point in him doing that. He hasn't got the brain to play in the middle either. He literally can play on the right because he just has to run up and down in a straight line. Nuno was furious at him when he went down with his. He jarred his ankle. Yeah, fair enough. That's a painful injury, but every 10-year-old knows if you've sprained your ankle a little bit, if you jog around on the spot, if you move, it starts to loosen up. He stood still. Nuno was screaming at him. And then even when the goal went in, he was still standing still at the edge of the box, doing absolutely nothing. If he needed treatment, he should have asked for it or should have come off the pitch. But he just stood there like an idiot. And then with the goal, the second goal that we did score as well, you can just see he's got no anticipation whatsoever because he
doesn't have to anticipate because of his speed. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, he does though, because I mean it was lucky that
he's learnt because of his speed. He's got through and he's got to where he is because he's been quicker than everyone. Go on.
Yeah, but so the Neto's shot that came across the goal could have very easily hit the post and come back out, and he should have been in acres of space then at the back post to just tap it in case it did. But as soon as the shot was struck, he's just stopped and stood still. The Chelsea players continued forward. So if it had have come back out, he would have been cleared. Whereas actually, he should have been anticipating it not to go in and to tap it in. I don't know. That's ridiculous to say because it did go in, but he didn't know when he was struck that. He's not a footballer. I can't stand him at the minute. He really, really frustrates me. And there's no wonder that he's on the bench. People are saying. I think Paul Scholes said before the game, like it shouldn't even be a question for Nuno. A player like Traore should be in the team every game, but he doesn't put the effort in. You look at Neto at the end of the game, pressing the Chelsea defenders and causing mistakes, and that's the reason why we were still in the game is because we put pressure on the defence that last 20 minutes when we were getting into the game. And Podence as well, the same. I wouldn't have taken Podence off. But he doesn't seem to finish games at the minute, Podence. I'm not sure what is wrong with him. But I mean, I'm delighted with the result, but there was still a lot of work to do. But it's so exciting to be a Wolves fan at the minute. And I know we all get depressed after a result like we had on Saturday when we lost to Villa because A, it's a local rival, but B, it's a game that we should be winning. And then we prove it because we've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten Chelsea either side of that game. But then we don't go and follow it up with good results against Villa, and that's why we won't be challenging for. I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't challenge for the title even the rest of the season if we can start putting those results to bed because we're only, I think, 5 or 6 points off the top. I know and there's all sorts of games in hand because of various games being cancelled. Or whatever. But we're on the same points as Man United and Man City, City are just decreed to be title challengers because they are Man City. But we're a very young team as well, so that's why it's exciting because Podence.
It's a similar sort of thing for us as well. But just to go back, not to defend your right back, but Chelsea's main threat has come down the left throughout the whole season, and it was just more a case of it felt like as great of going forward as who's on the right for you, Neto or Podence?
They probably switched quite a bit.
So it always seems to be that he was left alone to deal with Mount, Chilwell, and Werner, because that's our left-hand side is that three, and it always seems to go down that way. So I can understand you saying him having to chase back and things like that, but it was just a case of everyone struggled against that side, and not that he did well, but he seemed to do seeing as he was on his own sort of thing. Because obviously you had. Ruben Neves obviously was playing in the middle, and Dendoncker. I think Dendoncker was the first half. Or something. So that's what considering the first half, he had someone in front of him who was ill. I thought he managed to keep us at bay for that length of time at least. So that was the original point I was trying to make. But I can understand your frustrations with it as well.
I do appreciate your point, but when every team has a strong left side against you, that you start to draw.
That's the difference. That's the difference as we were saying. Like I watch Chelsea every week, so I can see where Chelsea shortcomings are week in, week out. Whereas you see obviously the Wolves and stuff. So it's different. Just on to ask you a question then. I know we're going off topic probably massively, but Havertz, what did you think of Havertz? Which is causing a lot of splits between Chelsea fans, I think.
Yeah, I didn't really notice him, to be honest. Unfortunately, I can't give that detailed of an opinion on him. I think that, Tom,
that says a lot. For considering he's supposed to be, I've been saying since he had the dreaded 19, I think it has hit him hard and he needs another break out of the team. Hopefully now he will get that. But obviously over the Christmas period, you can't really have a break. So I think Lampard's trying to play him through the form, his bad patch. But for everyone saying our squad's one of the strongest in the league, we lose 2 or 3 players and we're just as bad as everyone else. But anyway, Tom, I think that's probably enough football talk.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to go back. I'm just trying to find my notes from back in the summer. It would have been because when we made our predictions.
Yeah, I thought we were going to probably do that.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point out that I said that Sheffield United would. I thought they'd struggle quite a lot this season. I think I've been quite right with that one.
And
also, well,
I had go on.
Just before we move on as well, the Albion. I said that they would get relegated as well. They've just decided to sack Sam Allardyce. Not yet. They haven't sacked Sam Allardyce yet. They've sacked Slaven Bilic, who, after a 1-1 draw away to Man City, which is just unacceptable for a team in the relegation zone. You have to be beating the best team in the country. So did you have any thoughts on that? Because they've got in the relegation specialist.
I think they've got the right man in, as a replacement. I did say to my dad at the time when it was announced, it was an odd sacking, and I think it was predetermined before the game. That was going to happen, and I think they were hoping that they would get absolutely battered at the board, that being, so that they could justify their sacking. And I think probably Bilic knew that he was getting sacked and decided, right, we're just going to go out and be resolute and show that they could have, I'm not saying that he could have kept them up, but it's different. It's difficult. On the note of the predictions, Tom, I said Southampton, I think, would have been the surprise package.
Okay.
And they're currently sat in third. So we're doing, I think, at the minute, I think they're sat. Well, they were sat in third, I think, before. They might be sat in third. I will look
before tonight's games.
Before tonight's games. I'm sure because they won, or did they draw yesterday or lose?
They drew.
One of those two. Yeah, they're currently sat in third, 1 point behind Tottenham, level on points with Leicester. So. Yeah, it's one of those. It's a topsy-turvy season, as it always is. Burnley are out of the relegation zone as it currently stands. Breaking news.
And the Rouse Roach derbies are coming thick and fast because Burnley are playing Wolves this weekend, I think. So it's
that'll be an easy. That'll be an easy win for Burnley because going off what's been happening with both our teams, in terms of Chelsea and Wolves, they beat the teams they shouldn't, and they lose against the teams they should. Well, that doesn't make any sense what I've just said, but
I know what you mean. I'm not sure everybody else does, but let's move on to the first feature of this evening. I won't play anymore because it got blocked on YouTube last week because you're not allowed to use any music. I imagine that will get blocked as well, so because it's just too much. So Billy, did you have any answers? Let me play the clip for you first, people at home.
It defies description. How about sensational? How about superb?
Okay, did you have any answers sent to you, Billy?
I had none sent to me. However, we did discuss after the podcast that we were going to give it the first week. If you wanted to enter, you had to just listen to the podcast. So it's the people who, our dedicated listeners, will get the first week. And then I will post it up on Twitter now this week for that. It was quite quiet when you played it then, Tom. So I don't know if in a moment you want to play it again and turn the volume up potentially.
I'll try.
But otherwise, no, I had no responses. Did you, Tom, have any?
No. Can I have a guess?
I mean, if you want to have a guess, Tom, you're more than welcome to have a guess.
So it was quite a difficult one. And I'm trying to get it wrong to make it roll over. Yeah. But I think that it was Sergio Aguero against QPR.
No.
Is that wrong?
Yes.
That's wrong, no, damn. Oh, no. Damn. Oh, dear.
There was me frantically Googling what year this goal was in because I thought, he's going to turn around and go, it was
Yes, well, it was 2012. That was the year that goal was scored. Okay, so it's not Sergio. That's interesting. It's not Sergio Aguero. Okay. Okay. Very interesting. So that'll roll over. So if you know the answer to this clip, then reply to the tweet below or in the comment section on YouTube or tweet it. Email. I'll just play it. Reply to the tweet.
It defies description. How about sensational? How about superb?
Okay, there you go. Very good. I think it's proved to be quite a tricky one. The first time I heard it, I thought, that's so easy. And I genuinely thought it was Aguero against QPR. I have got another goal in my head that I think it is.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking it might be another goal altogether. It might not even be Man City. Okay.
Cool.
So that's the
you probably,
competition.
not to tell you what to do, Tom, but just to get all the football out of the way, we might want to talk about the wondrous poll. If we're even going to talk about it. It was obviously. I don't even know if you want to do the jingle because we have had a chat, and the uptake on the poll has been very disappointing. So the poll was who was going to get the furthest in the Champions League, and we had 2 votes. Disappointing. I know, obviously, all your fans, in terms of on your Twitter, aren't interested in it because it's obviously got nothing to do with Wolves. Yes. But I'm not even going to bother reading the results out because it was pointless. There was only 2 people. So the poll next week is going to be, shall we keep the poll?
No. You'll have 1 vote for no.
Yeah. So that's the vote for next week. I'm not even going to bother. If you want to know the result, go and find it on Twitter.
Yeah, great. I was encouraged because there were 2 votes very quickly, but then that was it. Then there were no other votes for forever. So that's the poll done. Great. So the next one we're going to have is this. Now, this one.
Now, football. Everton, Manchester United, Leeds United, so Rotherham United, West Bromwich, which Tottenham Hotspur, Leicester City,
Lovely.
Every time that makes me smile.
Sky Sports memes. This is Tim Sherwood showing why he's not a Premier League manager anymore.
And another corner. Not too worried about these corners. I mean, it might come back to bite me here, but I think Tottenham have got the dominancy in the air there, you know, so I'm not sure anyone can get the head on the first ball for Liverpool, apart from that.
So that was from last night. Tim Sherwood saying that he was pretty confident that Tottenham would be able to clear the ball before Bobby Firmino scored a really, really good header to win Liverpool the game and put them top of the league with egg on his face there. Former Aston Villa and Tottenham manager Tim Sherwood. Why do you think he's not got a job?
Probably because he's not very good at predictions. But I thought he has recently. Has he just recently been sacked? I think he had another job after the Villa job, or am I wrong there, Tom?
I don't. I think he might have been somewhere in. Was he QPR or somewhere like that?
No,
maybe.
No, it's just the 2. That's the 2 jobs he's had. I think he was linked with QPR, but he's only had. Oh no, He's appointed director of football at Swindon in 2016, and then he will be leaving his post after a year in the job. Not even a year, 6 months. Was it Tim Sherwood who once, as Tottenham manager, invited a fan to come and stand in the dugout during a game? Do you remember that? I remember that. I remember Mourinho doing it.
Yeah, I thought it was Tim Sherwood did it as well at Tottenham. He because this bloke kept shouting at him during the game, telling him what to do.
Oh yeah, this might have been I think it was a ball boy where Mourinho got them to do it. I think it was a child rather than an adult. Yeah. Someone who could have eaten Tim Sherwood alive. No, yeah, I think you are right there, Tom. But I can't remember off the top of my head. And on the Wikipedia page that I have just looked at to get his managerial career, it doesn't mention anything about that. No, so about him being replaced by a fan.
If you do know, then please put it in the comments section down below and let us know. I've got a feeling it was the end of the season. It was either the last game of the season or first game of the season. He just had enough and went, right, come and do it then. Right, let's move swiftly on to the best feature that we have, the most consistent feature. It's called believe it or
Denmark
not.
government are allowing sex with domestic animals during
Malcolm
lockdown.
Pike left a address at when he was
The
Birmingham
Brazilian
somewhere.
Chico Rodriguez has stuffed 10,000 pounds down
The
his
government are
pants.
banning babies to own businesses.
A Dutch football team is not allowed to be sponsored by sex
A
toys.
3-year-old
Blood
has been
is being
swept
fed
off by
to
a
drop
kite.
bears.
It's time for Believe It or Not.
You are fake news.
This always tends to be the part of the podcast where we do briefly mention Donald Trump, and he still hasn't accepted that he's lost the election, despite the Electoral College now telling him that they have elected Joe Biden. So it's going to be interesting what happens on the 20th of January, because he's talking about not leaving the White House.
I know there's already a film by this name, but I'm sure in years to come there will be a new one, and it's Kicking and Screaming. That'll be a feature-length film of this election. Probably, what's he called? Who plays Alan? Is it Alan in the Hangover?
Okay.
He'll
Gary
play Donald
Stagg.
Trump. Yeah, Gary Stagg. Will play. Oh, I mean the Staggs we know who listen to. Well, if they are listening, I think they will be a very good pairing. To play Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I think it'll obviously be a musical number. But yeah, I think that would be, and obviously Tracy Stagg playing Melania.
Melania
would be brilliant. And Stag's nan. I'm sure we'll get a role in there for her as well. Yeah. So if you do know the Staggs, please tweet them saying that we want them to make a feature-length film over the holidays. Reenacting the election, the US election. So Tom, I'm going to put it out there now. I think you will get it this week. I will be shocked. I have made it very easy for you this week, Tom. So if you do not get it this week, I will be shocked. It's one of them.
The moon is made of cheese, and then there's two real stories.
Well, I'll be shocked if you haven't heard of the two real stories. Similar to last week where you'd heard of one. I'll be shocked if you haven't heard of the two real ones. Okay. So the first one is police shut down Christmas Mall Santa after intoxicated sex orgy with Elf and Santa Claus.
There's always an orgy.
Well, on that note, Tom, the next one is French sex party broken up near COVID hospital. And the final one is Tony Blair rock opera to be staged in 2021.
Okay, Billy, I've not heard of any of them. So your prediction is incorrect. But I imagine that the Tony Blair musical one must be true. It's got to be true. It's about time that somebody, people have been calling out for a Tony Blair musical since the Iraq War, really. Since 2003. All we've wanted to know is about the weapons of mass destruction through the medium of song and dance.
Again, the Stags will be starring in this one as well.
Yeah. So tell me more about the Tony Blair. Or Tony B. Liar.
So Princess Diana and Osama bin Laden will star. Well, their roles will. They won't star in it.
Oh, that's a shame.
They will be portrayed in this.
Are they busy, are they?
Yeah, and Saddam Hussein. They are. Yeah, they're all pretty busy.
It's an all-star cast.
Yeah. Lyrics will be written by comedian Harry Hill.
Oh God! It's going to be awful then.
Yeah, and it's going to be held in the Turbine Theatre. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but that's what I'm going to say it is.
Okay. What's it called? Has it got a name?
I don't think it has a name at the minute. Oh, Tony Blair. Tony Blair rock opera.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, I was wrong. It's Tony. A Tony Blair rock opera. Sorry. Just wanted to get that out. Yeah.
Tony. I wonder if it will win many awards. Tony awards.
Well done.
Okay.
Well done, Tom.
Thank you. So I because you said that I would probably know that. I reckon that one's true. It must be true. I haven't heard about it though. So the other two sex parties then. One of them must be real. And why would I have heard of one of them? So now you've said that, now I've got to think about why I would have heard about one of them. So there's one outside a hospital, and there was one. And the other one involved Santa. Where did the one involving Santa take place?
The Trafford Centre in Manchester.
It happened in the Trafford Centre.
Yes.
In what store?
It doesn't say what store, because it was the Santa's
Grotto
sort of
Grotty,
thing.
Santa's little
Grotty
Grotty
Santa,
Grotto.
yes.
Oh,
So
dear.
I don't think it happened within a store. I think it's one of the like stall or kiosk or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
one of those things.
And how many people were involved in this altercation?
3: Santa, Mrs. Claus, and an elf. As you expect, Tom. Well, to be fair, Rudolph, I would have, probably hazard a guess, but
Yeah.
no, it was an elf.
I've got a query then. At what point does, to quote Lynn Benfield from Alan Partridge, at what point does a sex festival become a sex festival and not just a menage a trois?
I don't know, Tom.
Because when you said orgy, I assumed you were talking like dozens of people, like a Roman orgy.
Tom, I'm just reading the headlines. Okay.
Okay, well, I just thought you might know or have an opinion on when.
Tom,
when it became...
unfortunately, I know I have reported to you about many sex parties over the past weeks. I am not, one who frequents them as much as you like to believe.
Well, it sounds like you read about them a lot, Billy.
For research purposes only, Tom.
Okay, so at what point in the day did this happen? Was it during Grotto hours, or is it once the Trafford Centre had closed?
I think it was during the lunch break. is what is being described as. Because people, the reason how they got found out was people were obviously queuing up and heard some noises, shall we say, coming from said grotto.
Oh wow.
And I think I'll leave the rest up to your imagination, Tom.
Wow. Okay. Well, we've got our title for this week. I did back out of last week. What did I write down? Penis, testicles, and rectum. I backed out of calling that because I realised that my mother listens to it. So I thought, nah, I can't call it penis, testicles, and rectum. Although I did type it in, but then I deleted it. But I will call this one Santa's Grotty Grotto. And then there's the French sex party. I noticed how you use sex party and not orgy for this one. So does that mean that there wasn't actual any intercourse? It was just more of a celebration of sex.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, there was a group of French swingers was held in a holiday home, because I know you're about to ask me where after you've asked me where in the mall. I'm just seeing if there's an amount of people. No, there's no quantity of people. 10 per actually, unspecified amount. But they list that there was female escorts were taking part from a nearby town or city, and they were described as being naked or lightly dressed. That is the quotes there.
Dressed.
I just thought that was quite funny, of being lightly dressed.
You've come ever so lightly dressed.
Yeah. And the best of it all was that they were fined €250 each for breaking the rules of gathering.
Right. So they were that was it. What did you say about? Okay, what did you say about the hospital part of it?
So it was held near a hospital.
Just near a hospital.
Yeah, it's just in front. Oh, actually, I have got a number. It's a 52-person illegal sex party at the house.
Oh my goodness!
In front of a hospital where coronavirus patients were being treated.
Okay, so So from my deductions, I reckon that the French sex party is true outside the hospital, and the Tony Blair or Tony B. Liar musical is true, and unfortunately I'm going to say that the Santa's Grotty Grotto is fake news.
Well done, Tom.
Yeah,
I told you you'd get it.
it's another Christmas miracle.
Another Christmas miracle. Yeah, so Tony Blair, it's been, as you say, in the pipeline for quite some time. And Harry Hill's going to be writing the lyrics. The name of the theatre is Turbine, which
A turbine. Yeah.
Which is. But I just thought after we, I just thought I'm sure I'm pronouncing this wrong, but obviously I am correct. I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't think it says who it's been written by. I'm just scrolling through quickly, but yeah, you've got it spot on there, Tom. The reason I thought you would know about the illegal sex party was because it's been exactly 2 weeks since the previous sex party, which was in Brussels, with the Belgian and the Hungarian. Remember the story that I had?
Oh, so soon.
So this literally the headline. The headline was originally another sex party's been broken up, but then obviously because I've had. So I was like, that's how I originally had it in, and then I made up another one and changed the headline. Found another headline for you. So yeah, after the 25-man orgy in Brussels, they've now doubled in number and gone to 52. So yeah, and then yeah, I've made the.
What website do you get your orgy news from?
My orgy news. This is from. I've actually got the article here because I was going to use it here. So here is. Here is. It's from the newspaper.
Wait, was that Theresa May?
Yeah, that's an
unrelated story.
No, actually, it is. It has been used for this. It's Theresa May arriving at
the party
summit in Brussels in December. Her mantra was that the no deal is better than a bad deal. I have no idea. Oh no,
I don't think it's related to the story, Billy.
Well, there's no. The only two stories on this page are French sex party broken up near COVID hospital and Rouhani execution of journalist who was lawful.
Okay, and just a nice picture of Theresa May.
And just Theresa May in the middle, obviously the sex symbol of Brussels.
Yeah. Well, after she danced her way across the stage at the Conservative Party conference in 2017,
But my prediction was right, Tom, that you would get. You would,
yeah.
I am taking a small victory there, so I am shocked that you didn't.
So even when I win, you can claim a victory.
I am.
I don't like
because I guessed that you got it right. I'm shocked that you hadn't heard about Tony Blair because I thought you'd have bought tickets for Alice for Christmas, or have I just spoilt something there? Sorry.
Oh God, she keeps guessing. She keeps seeing things or guessing things, and I keep telling her that that's what I've got for Christmas. So she saw, for some reason, I logged on to her computer on my Amazon a couple of days ago. And for some reason, the toothpaste was on the recommended items. She said, "Have you bought me toothpaste for Christmas?" And I went, "Oh God, no! Have you seen that? Oh no! Obviously, I haven't bought a toothpaste. I'm speaking in hushed tones in case she's outside." And then she mentioned just now about a neck brace. I said, "Can you stop looking at my Amazon deliveries, please?" So she thinks she's getting a neck brace and toothpaste for Christmas.
I mean, that's what they say. That's how the song goes. Yeah. That toothpaste and a neck brace is a girl's best friend. I'm sure that's the lyrics.
Toothpaste is a girl's best friend. Okay, Billy, I've got a podcast idea for you.
Yes.
It's a fun game for all the family. It's called Dicktato. And it's a game. It's a game very similar to Top Trumps. You get 2 guests on every week and they choose their favorite dictator. And then they play them off against each other to find out who's the best dictator. So, you're judging by how many people killed, how long were they dictating over a country for, any crimes that they committed themselves. And then there's an independent judge who judges who is the best dictator. And then it's like a World Cup competition. So you'd start off with 32 dictators from history, and you'd get down to the one all-conquering dictator. What do you make of that, Billy?
When you first said the names on, I thought it was going to be one of those ones where it's similar to, the hot dog or the legs. I thought it was going to be, is this a dick or is this a potato? Hence, dictator. But your idea is...
Dictato. Okay, maybe this has got another title for this podcast, Dicktato. Wow.
Sorry, Tom. I think I've upstaged you there. So yeah, I think that could be the poll this week. Which podcast should we now create?
Dicktato or Dictator? Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I mean, I don't know how Dicktato would work on an audio podcast.
Well, I'm just going off how brilliantly you've done them the past few weeks, Tom, and how they've obviously been easily transferable. That is one of those things. We could even make it a YouTube, and obviously it'll eventually go on to primetime television.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you want, you can get your dictators to take part, and we can just combine the two. So yeah.
I was just thinking of making the most right-wing podcast of all time, and I think that's probably the best way to do it. Get racists to come on and talk about why their racist, arrogant, genocidal dictator is better than somebody else's.
Yeah. So I'm glad we came to how we came up with that topic. But yeah,
have you got any dictators that you're fond of, Billy?
What are they called? Baked ones. I like baked. Oh, we're not on potato. We're on actual dictators. Is Borat? No, Borat's not a dictator. Dictator was a different one. What's Borat? What's the name of the dictator?
Do you mean
that Sacha Baron Cohen portrayed?
Yeah, it's called The Dictator.
I can't remember his name though. He would have, I think, be up there. Or the guy they play. Oh, what is it in Team America? It's
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
The portrayal of that dictator is quite. Oh,
Kim Jong Il, not Kim Jong Un.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find. I have got a favorite dictator actually, Billy, and I want to find his name, but I can never remember it, and I can't even remember now where he's the capital. Where he's the capital. Where he's where he's the dictator of. I'm not even sure. Oh, here he is. Sapamurat Niyazov. So I will just give you a bit of information about him. He's a fascinating character who he died sadly in 2006. I say sadly, he was a dictator. He must have killed lots of people. But he was the dictator of Turkmenistan for several years. I'm just trying to find that. So I've been very vague here. I didn't know I was going to talk about it, to be honest. I think from about 1990, he was the first president of Turkmenistan, and he did mental things. I'm assuming he killed lots of people as well, like other dictators. But he also changed the names of the days of the week to be his family's names and his pets' names. He didn't let women presenting on television to wear makeup. And he let he's bonkers. He's worth reading about. So he's Sapamurat Niyazov, Turkmenistan's dictator. He's so funny to read about some of the crazy things he did. Here we go. He outlawed opera and ballet and circuses because
Tony's not going to even get over there. Oh,
exactly. Because he quit smoking, he then banned other people from smoking.
I mean, that's probably a positive. Like, you could probably give him a tick for that one.
Yeah, he abolished the Turkmen, which is the language of Turkmenistan. He banned their word for bread and replaced it with Gurban Sultan, which is his mother's name.
So he wanted to change the name of bread to his mother's name.
Yeah. He requested that a palace of ice was built near the capital so that those living in the desert country could learn to skate. The rink was built in 2008 and is located near the Turkmen State Medical University. That's cool.
I thought you were going to say, and it melted within 3 weeks.
In 2004, he decreed that men should no longer wear long hair or beards. He banned the use of lip syncing at concerts, which I'm actually very pro. I agree with him with that. He banished dogs from the capital of Turkmenistan because of their unappealing odor. And he demanded that all of the right-hand drive imported cars were converted to left-hand drive because they apparently would cause fewer accidents. So there you go. That's my favourite dictator.
Jesus.
Have a look.
Just Tom's Dictator of the Week is going to be what replaces the poll. So Tom's Dick of the Week.
On that note, I think we've come towards the end, so I've got something to recommend off the top of my head because I haven't thought about it yet. I did play Hanabi though today, Billy, with the children again, and they actually really enjoyed it. It was a much more controlled game than I think you would have as an adult, because there were 6 of us playing, and I know you can only have 5 people playing, so I acted as like the talker for everybody.
Mediator.
I kept saying, "What do you know? What do you know? What could you tell her to help her?" So they actually really enjoyed it. It was really good. So perhaps that should. I don't think have we recommended that game in particular.
I don't think we have. But if we have already, definitely go and get it.
Yeah, so Hanabi is what it's called. Hanabi. Is that right? Hanabi?
Yes, correct. Correct.
And if you buy it from Amazon, you will be delivered German instructions. So if you do go and buy it, then let us know, because Billy will email you the the English instructions. But it's very straightforward. But basically, you have to work together to create this run of cards, isn't it? Basically, you have to get from 1 to 5 in all these different colours. But you can't look at your own cards. You have to rely on the other people's clues, and you have to remember quite a lot. But it was very good. And the girls, I mean, they're 11 years old, 12 years old. They could get it as well. So it's fun for all the family in this.
Yeah.
And it's quite cheap. I think £8, £10, something like that. On
it's not expensive. And I know you've got another game to play, which obviously that will be your recommendation in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I would recommend it. I haven't bought a new game. Oh, I have actually bought a new game, but I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to recommend it until I learn how to pronounce it. But it is quite good. But yeah, I'll save that for next week.
Lovely. Well, we will be back next week on what will be Christmas Eve, hopefully, and we will. We've got a bonus episode as well in the pipeline for some point over the Christmas week, and that should be a little bit of Christmas jolly festive fun for everybody. So listen out for us on your podcast streams and share the podcast around to people that you like or loathe. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Bye.